Hi everyone, welcome to English with Sepid. Today we are gonna work on American English File 3, Unit 2A. Okay, let's get started. But before we start that, check the link above for the previous sessions. So today we are gonna work on 2A, spend or save. And on page 13 on American English File 3. Let's get started. Spend or save. Do you spend or save money? So, I'm much of a saver. So, I prefer to save money rather than spend. Okay? So, how about you? Tell me. Let's see. Here, the vocabulary are about the money. Okay? So there's a list of vocabulary from A to G. And we are going to figure out the meanings on part B. I will tell you the meanings as well, okay? You can either find that and afterwards you can check the video. Let's go. A material world. A material world. Okay, so what's the meaning of that? What do you think? Let's go to the options below to find that out. Rich. No, it's not related. Cash or credit cards. Not related. You have to pay for it. Nope. Pay the bill. No chance. That you don't have to pay for. Again, it's not. Buying a lot of things at one time cannot be really. A consumer society, yes. A belongs to this definition here. A consumer society. A society that likes to spend money a lot. Okay, we call that consumer society. Now, let's go to the next. Comes with a fee. Comes with a fee. So let's find that. This is number 3 here. You have to pay for it. Okay? Everything that you buy comes with a fee. It means you have to pay for everything that you buy. Now, foot the bill. Foot the bill. This is number 4. Pay the bill. Pay the bill. And for free. For free. This is number 5. That you don't have to pay for. That you don't have to pay for. It is for free, free of charge. And E, paper or plastic. So paper or plastic is number 2. Cash or credit cards. So in informal English, we call credit cards plastic. Okay, so we can call that plastic as well. But cash, again, is the money that you pay. Okay, paper money. Like this. So next is shopping sprees. Shopping sprees. So this is number 6. Buying a lot of things at one time. Shopping spree. Okay, for example, I went on a shopping spree last month. Okay, last month I bought a lot of things. So, and G, with money. With money is number 1 and it means rich. For rich, you can say with money or what else? Rolling in dough. Somebody is rolling in dough. It means somebody has a lot of money and is really rich. Uber rich, actually. So, right now, we are going to turn to the vocabulary section on 154. Let's go. So, we are on page 154. Money. Now, take a look at part 1, verbs. There are some verbs which are related to money, okay, about the spending, saving, and such like. Here, you see some sentences from 1 to 13. And across from the sentences, you see some incomplete sentences, okay? So, you see some blanks. I'm gonna read the complete sentence which is equivalent for the sentence which is across from it, and we are gonna find the verb above. Okay? To put in the right blank. Let's go. First of all, we are going to read the verbs. So the first verb is be worth. Be worth. For instance, this jacket is worth $10. Like this. It means the proper money for it is $10. Inherit. After somebody dies, the amount of money goes to their children or grandchildren, and the grandchildren or children inherit some money from the dead person. So, borrow. It means to get money from somebody and afterwards you should pay it back. Invest. To put money in a business, okay, to get some profit, to gain some profit. Can't afford. It means you don't have enough money to buy something. You can't afford it. Lend. To give money to somebody, okay, but afterwards they should pay back. So, this is lend. Owe. If you owe money, it means you have borrowed a sum of money from somebody, okay? And you should pay it back. So you owe the money, okay? The money is not yours and you should just pay it back. Charge. Charge means to get money from somebody for a service or for a product. Charge somebody for something. Raise. To get money from people in order to help people, help others, for organizations, charities like this, raise money. Okay, it means collect money in order to spend in the, for example, for the right purpose. So save money, you know that, save it, put it aside. Cost, okay, cost. Again, it's like it costs $10, the price of something. We are telling the price. Waste money, to spend money lavishly, okay? You don't pay attention to the money and you spend it a lot, so you waste the money. Earn. Earn means to gain money. For instance, you work and you earn money. So let's go to the sentences. My uncle died and left me $2,000. Okay, so let's go to the sentence across from it. I'm going to inherit $2,000. So pay attention. Inherit is the best word to be used here. Now, number 2. I put some money aside every week for my next vacation. Put money aside. Which word goes here? Money every week. I save money every week. Number 3, my brother promised to give me $50. So he promised to me $50 to give money to someone as a loan. To lend is correct. So number 4, I need to ask my mom to give me $20. I need $20 from my mom. Get the money as a loan. So this is borrow. Borrow money. Number 5, I often spend money on stupid things. On stupid things, unnecessary things, okay? I often waste money. Number 6, I don't have enough money to buy that car. Don't have enough money. To buy that car. I can't afford. Okay, so let's go to the next. I usually have to pay the mechanic $400 to fix my car. The mechanic, me $400. The mechanic gets some money from me for a service. Charges. Okay, so the next one is, these shoes are very expensive. They are $200. The price. They cost $200. Number 9, Jim gave me $100. I haven't paid him back yet. So, you borrowed money and you haven't still paid it back. We call that I owe Jim $100. Number 10, I want to put money in a bank account. They'll give me 5% interest. Okay, profit, interest. I want to raise some money. Raise is used for the money that you can collect, okay, for a purpose. Call that raise. Number 11, I work in a supermarket. They pay me $1,600 a month. So if you work and get money, we say, I earn $1,600 a month. Number 12, I could sell my house for about $200,000. So the best money for my house is this. The best price of that is my house is worth about $200,000. And the last one, number 13. We need to get people to give money to build a new hospital, to collect money for a purpose. We want to raise money for the new hospital. Okay, so that's the end of part 1, vocabulary. Let's turn to part 2. It's about the prepositions. So, prepositions are the common collocations which are used in these sentences. Let's just complete these sentences using the prepositions above. So, the prepositions are by, for, from, in, into, on, to. So, the sentences. Number 1, would you like to pay in cash? This is the collocation. In cash or by credit card. For credit card, we say by, but for cash, in. So, number 2, I paid for the dinner. Pay for the dinner last night. It was my birthday. Number 3, I spent $50 on books yesterday. Spend on. This is the proper preposition for that. Number 4, my uncle invested all his money real estate. In real estate. Invest money in. Okay? So, number 5, I don't like lending money to friends. Lend to. 6, I borrowed a lot of money from the bank. So, borrow from. They charged me $120 for a haircut. Charge somebody for something. And 8, I never get in debt. Get in debt. I hate owing people money. If you're in debt, it means you owe people money. So, just try to memorize these collocations. They're really important and they're about money. Here, match the nouns and definitions. Okay, so let's go. The first definition is number 1, okay? A piece of money made of metal. A coin. Coin is the best alternative here. Number 2, a piece of paper that shows how much money you have to pay for something. So, take a look at the words above. Which one is the best? Bill. Number 3, the money you get for the work you do. So, you work and you earn salary. Number 4, money that you pay to the government. Tax. Number 5, money that somebody or a bank lends you. Loan. 6, money that a bank lends you to buy a house. Mortgage. Mortgage. Number 7, a machine where you can get money. ATM. So you must have known that before. Let's go to the box. Phrasal verbs. I took out $200 from an ATM. Took money from my bank account. Take out, it means to take money from your account. So it's a very important phrasal verb. Take out $10. Take out $200. So next, where can you pay me back? When can you pay me back the money I lent you? Pay back. It means return the money. So you borrow the money, after that you pay it back. Next, I have to live off my parents while I'm in college. Live off means depend on financially. For instance, I'm out of work, I don't work, so I live off my mom. My mom gives me some money for me to just survive and continue my life. So live off somebody, get money from someone. It's difficult for me and my wife to live on only one salary. Live on. Have enough money for basic things you need to live. Okay, live on your salary. It means you continue your life, okay, only depending on your salary. That's it. So depending on your income, salary, or pension for the older people, like this. So that's the end of vocabulary section. Let's go to the next part. So let's turn to page 15, pronunciation part. So on pronunciation part, we are gonna learn the pronunciation of and and O, okay? There are 3 columns. Now, I will tell you which word belongs to which column, okay, to pronounce them correctly. So, the first word is clothes, clothes. The third column, clothes, O. Nothing, nothing. The first column, A. Dollar, dollar. The second column, dollar. O, O. The third column. Done, done. The first column. Shopping, shopping. The second column. Honest, honest. Again, the second one. Some, some. The first. Loan, loan. The third. Sold, sold. Again, the third. Money, money. It's the first. One, one. The first. Go, go. This is for the third column. Okay, so that's it. Now, look at part D. There are some words here. We are going to just learn how to pronounce them. Let's go. So, afford, afford. Order, order. Worth, worth. Organized, organized. Mortgage, mortgage. Store, store. Work, work. So the sound of or is really important. Now let's turn to the reading section. I'm going to just read this part, okay? Are you a spender or a saver? Now, you're gonna just answer these parts A, B, or C. Which one is correct for you, okay? And you can decide whether you're a saver or a spender. I'm gonna just help you to figure out the meaning of the text. Let's get started. Are you a spender or a saver? You go shopping and you see something very expensive. Expensive is opposite of cheap, that you really want but can't afford. You don't have money to pay for it. Can't afford. You, A, buy it with your credit card. You can worry about the bill next month. B, already have some money in bank and plan to save for a couple of weeks and then buy the thing you want. C, borrow the money and agree to pay back a small amount every week. So, which one is true for you? Number 2, you get $100 for your birthday. You, A, spend some of it and save some. B, go straight to a shopping mall and spend it all. C, put all of it in your bank account until you know what you want to spend it on. Okay, again, this is your decision to be made. Which one is correct for you? Number 3, do you always know how much money you have spent, and on what? A, yes, I'm very organized and know exactly what I have and what I've spent. B, no, I have no idea. When I have money, I usually just spend it. C, I usually have a rough idea about what I spend my money on. Rough idea. It means I'm not really sure. Okay, so approximate idea, rough idea. So let's go. Number 4, you borrowed some money from a friend, but you don't think that you'll be able to pay it back by the time you promised to. You, A, don't worry about it. Hopefully your friend will forget about it too. B, figure out how much money you have and how much you owe. You speak to your friend and explain the situation and offer to pay the money back in small installments. It means every month you pay a part of it, okay? Paying the money monthly or weekly based on the thing that you have decided. So let's go to C. Talk to your friend and promise that you'll pay him or her back, but it might take a little longer than you first thought. So again, choice is yours. Let's go to number 5. You have a friend who often borrows money from you and never pays you back. He or she wants to borrow $50. You, A, lend him or her the money. You can afford it, and it doesn't matter if you don't get it back. B, say no. He or she owes you too much already. C, lend the money but explain that it is the last time until he or she has paid back this loan. Loan is the amount of money that you owe somebody. Okay, that was the end of this part. Try to use the vocabulary that you learned on page 154 in order to speak better about money. Let's turn to the next part, which is the grammar part. Is really important. Let's go. Now, let's turn to the grammar part. The grammar part is the most important part of this session. Pay attention. We are going to work on present perfect and simple past. We're going to figure out their differences, okay? When to use these tenses. It's really important to know where to use them. So, let's go. Present perfect. The sentences that you see in blue are in present perfect tense, okay? The sentences that you see in black are simple past tense. Let's go to present perfect. We use present perfect for the past experiences, Okay? Whatever experience I have, or you have, or other people have from the past can be expressed through present perfect tense. It's really important. So let's go. I've been to Miami. I've been to Miami. It means I went to Miami. I saw Miami. This is my experience. Right now that I am talking to you, I remember my experience, okay? So, I've been to Miami. But I haven't been to New York. It means I didn't go to New York. I didn't see New York City. So I don't have the experience to talk about now. Okay? So this is past experience, but why do we use present perfect tense? This is the question, okay? So the point is that the experience belongs to the past. However, the memories that we remember and we are going to talk about now are important, okay? Because of that, we use present perfect tense for past experiences because we want to link the past to the present. Present perfect means linking the past tense to the present tense, okay? This is present perfect. You do something in the past and the result is important now, okay? Let's go. So, this was about the positive sentence. I have past participle. So, I have done something. Or I have been, as you see in this example. This is the negative form. I haven't, have not. Okay? If you want to make it negative, this is just necessary to put not beside have or has. So, I haven't been to New York. Here we have past participle. What is a past participle? Like this, we have the base form of the verb. For instance, the verb is am, is, are, okay? Am, is, are. The base form is be, okay? Be. And the past tense is was or were. So, the past participle is been, okay? For instance, another verb, drink. Past tense, drank, and past participle, drunk. You can find it easily through just typing in Google, okay, and Google them. What are the past participles of the verbs? And at the end of the dictionaries, you can find the complete list of these verbs, okay? Actually, we are talking about the irregular verbs. But for the regular verbs, for instance, work. Okay, we say work, worked, and worked. For regular verbs, we just add ed. If you know the list of irregular verbs, you can easily use them, okay? You can easily understand the regular verbs as well as irregular ones, okay? It's necessary to know the list of irregular verbs, the verbs that change in form, okay? So, let's go. Here, there is the question form of that. If you want to make a question, we should put have at the first part of the sentence. This is yes-no question, okay? Have, after that, subject, then ever, because we are talking about experience, and past participle of the verb. Let's go. Have you ever lost your credit card? Have you ever lost your credit card? Okay, so I'm asking about your experience. So you can say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't, like this. This was the question form of that. Another point is that for she, he, it, okay, we use has instead of have. So the auxiliary verb for she, he, it is has. Sally, she, okay? Sally has never met Bill. Okay, so it means that Sally has no experience of seeing Bill. Sally doesn't know Bill. If Bill is here and Sally is here and Sally is seeing Bill, Sally won't have any feeling, okay? Doesn't know that person like this. So Sally has never met Bill. We use present perfect for past experiences which result now, okay? So the results are important right now. Let's go. They result in the present. Now the next point is already and yet. These are two words that are used in present perfect sentences. So, in positive sentences, we can use already. Okay, so already is used in positive sentences like I've. I've is the contraction for I have. Okay, so I've already seen this movie. In order to emphasize that I have done this, I exactly did this thing, okay? So you use already in order to claim something, saying something emphatically, strongly, okay? We add already to the sentence. So I've already seen this movie. I've already seen this movie. So I'm really confident. Already adds confidence to your sentence. Let's go to the negative form of that. Okay. In negative form, we use yet. My brother hasn't found a job yet. Okay. It means my brother hasn't found a job, okay, for now. Yet. So that's the case, and the place of them is really important. We put yet at the end of the sentence, and we put already between have or has and past participle form of the verb. Let's go to the question form. In question form, again, we can use yet, not already. You know, we can use already as well. However, yet is better, okay? Here it shows the expectation that you have from the people. Let's go. Have you finished your homework yet? Have you finished your homework yet? It means I expect you to have finished your homework. Okay, it's really important. If we have some expectations or if we are expressing some expectations, we can use yet in our questions in form of present perfect. Okay, so there's a point. Again, in present perfect, we are talking about the past action which results in present. Pay attention to this. Okay, so again, we say I've already seen this movie. It means this is a past action. I saw that movie. Now I remember it. Okay? My brother hasn't found a job yet. In the past, he searched and didn't find, and now he is out of work. He's jobless. So here, have you finished your homework yet? So I expected you to do it, to have done it. Okay? But now I am asking to see the result of that. So the link between past tense and present tense is present perfect. Let's go to another point. If you want to talk about experience, you can use these phrases, okay? Like once. I've been to Miami once, only one time. I've been to Miami twice. I've eaten sushi several times, okay? So, I have never eaten sushi, okay? So never is placed between have or has and the past participle form of the verb. Pay attention. And I've seen this movie a lot, okay? And this is another point. So if you want to talk about your experiences, you can use these phrases. Let's go to simple past. For finished past actions and details, okay? So if you want to talk about the memories, past actions, and the actions that no longer exist, okay? So they finished in the past. We can use simple past plus details. If you are giving details to somebody, you can use simple past. Let's go to the sentences. They got married last year, okay? Get is the base form. Got is the past tense. So this is irregular verb, okay? Pay attention to that. Get, got. And you can find it in the list in the dictionaries, at the end of them actually. So, they got married last year. We have the time here, okay? So we know when we should use simple past, but here we didn't have time. We didn't mention time. Let's go to the next question. What time did you wake up this morning? It's asking about the details. What time? Okay, but here we didn't have any detail. It was talking about some general sentences. So, this is the negative form. I didn't have time to do my homework. So, in order to make negative sentences in past tense, you should put didn't, okay, after your subject. And you should bring the base form of the verb. I didn't have, okay? So, I didn't have time to do my homework. Again, we are talking about the past tense and the result is not really important right now. But I haven't done my homework. Now you are in the class, I want to check your homework, okay? And you say, I haven't done my homework. But you're at home and you're just reporting your friend, okay? You're talking to your friend on the phone and you say, I didn't have time to do my homework. Okay, so it's a past action and it's not important for your friend to know the result of that. Let's see. Here, present perfect versus simple past. We are gonna figure out the differences between present perfect and simple past. Let's go. I've been to Miami twice. It's a general sentence. It doesn't have time. We don't know when. Okay, we don't know with whom, okay, no details are mentioned or are stated here. So only the person says, I have the experience. Afterwards, if that person wants to give you some details, he or she would say, I went there in 1998. So for general sentences and experiences that you don't give details, you can use present perfect, but for the sentences that afterwards you're gonna give details, you can use simple past tense. That was the point. Use them, do the exercises in your book and practice them in your speaking. Let's go to the next part. Now, let's turn to the reading section on page 17, okay? So, there's the reading here and I'm gonna read that text for you. Afterwards, you can answer these questions based on the reading. Right now, I'm gonna just facilitate the process for you, okay, to understand the text, to comprehend it, and you can answer the questions. So let's go. From the streets to success. Okay, it's a kind of story, I think it's a kind of rags to riches story, okay? Somebody was really poor and after that he just became a millionaire maybe. So, John DeGioia, an American billionaire businessman, owns several companies including John Paul Mitchell Systems, a successful brand of hair products. However, DeGioia was not always wealthy. Wealthy means with money, having a lot of money. He was the second son of immigrant parents and grew up in a very poor area of Los Angeles, California. So, immigrant parents, the people who just changed their hometown, okay? They moved from their hometown to another place. We call that immigrant. Before forming his hair product company with only $700, he was a street gang member for some of his youth. He then worked at low-paying jobs, the jobs that give you peanuts, okay? Not a lot of money. Peanuts means a small amount of money, including encyclopedia salesman. Salesman, like a person who sells something. Janitor, a person who gives service in a special place like apartment like this and takes care of all the services there, or at school. And insurance salesman. And he was homeless twice. Nigeria's self-made rise is an inspiring story. Yes, it really inspired us. Let's go to the next part. As a child, you were fairly entrepreneurial, weren't you? My first job at 9 years old was selling Christmas cards door to door. At 10 years old, my brother and I had paper routes. We got up at 4 o'clock a.m., folded the papers. Papers here means newspapers, and delivered them, and then got ready for school. As you got older, you continued to work, is that right? The job that was one of the most influential experiences you can imagine was door to door selling encyclopedias. Doors literally slam in your face. Slam means it's closed really harshly. Maybe 30, 40 doors before the first customer will actually talk to you and let you in. It's a highly demanding job. Let's go. You've been homeless, haven't you? Twice. Once when I was about 22 years old. The other time was when I started John Paul Mitchell Systems in 1980. I wasn't getting along with my wife at the time, so I had left and had given her all the money. We had a backer for John Paul Mitchell Systems, putting in $500,000. That money was supposed to arrive that day. I never got a penny. Didn't have any money, okay? It was almost penniless. So I just slept in my car, and I slept in my car for the first 2 weeks when I started the company. So we started with humble beginnings. Highly difficult experience to go through. So, do memories of the streets motivate you? It sure makes you very thankful, okay? It means thankful of what you have in your life. Those who are homeless, like people with kids who are homeless, I really have a heart for. So I participate in a lot of charitable organizations. Charitable organizations like the charities, actually, that take the homeless off the street. They help the homeless people from the street. They just lift them out of poverty. What are the biggest problems you've faced in business? The biggest problem is rejection. Rejection. It means to reject somebody, okay? Not to accept them. Any business you start, be ready for it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people do all the things the unsuccessful people don't want to do. When 10 doors are slammed in your face, go to door number 11 with a smile. So, it means that you should be determined, okay, and perseverant. It's really important. When did you know you had made it? Made it, you had made it, or you have made it. It means being successful. Okay? I was in business 2 years and we were able to pay every single bill on time. We had a couple of $1,000 in bank, $4,000 to be exact. And we said, man, we made it. We've been successful. It's all downhill now. It means it's a kind of easy process now. It was really hard, but before it was hard. Okay. It took a couple years. What was the first thing you bought yourself at that point? I went to a restaurant. This is the first time I said I'm going to order off the left side of the menu, not the right side. The right side is where the prices are. Carne asada, gomol, whatever I wanted. I didn't even look at the prices. That to me was a pretty big deal. It was everything to him. So it was a highly attractive text actually. That's the end of part 2A. See you next session on part 2B. Hi everyone, welcome to English with Sepid. I hope that you're doing well and everything is fine, everything is going swimmingly. Let's get started. Today we're gonna work on American English File 3, but what unit? So 2B. Before going to the American English File Unit 2B, take a look at the link above, okay? So check the previous sessions and learn lots of things. So let's get started. 2B, changing lives on page 18. So you see a photo here. Wow, what a beautiful photo. Actually, what a beautiful set of photos. Okay, you see some people, okay, who are helping some other people in Africa. This is great, okay? They are changing their lives. And this is really important to give back to your community, yeah? And the people here are doing such a thing. So here, listening part, there's a listening part. The listening is talking about a really beautiful story, okay? Just I recommend you to listen to it, okay? Listen to it, answer these questions, and notice how the people help and how others are assisted in other parts of the world. Okay, so that's it. And right now, there's a very important grammar part, okay? So let's turn to our grammar part, which is about present perfect for, since, and present perfect continuous. Let's go. Now, let's turn to our grammar part. So, our grammar part today is about present perfect. So, we are going to talk about present perfect. And we are going to analyze for and since in sentences. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to talk about for. What does for show in a present perfect sentence? If you remember, we've worked on present perfect, okay, in 2A, okay? Now on 2B part, we are going to talk about the usage of these words. So let's go. For is used in order to show the duration of the time. So what do I mean by duration? For instance, for a year, okay? It means during 1 year. So, or for 2 months. So, during 2 months. This shows the duration of the action. Now, according to this, we've set some examples here and we've used for in present perfect form. Before going to the example, notice that in present perfect tense, we don't have a determined time. We never use a determined time marker. For instance, if I say 2 years ago, you understand that it is in the past, okay? It took place in the past. But if I say for a year, there is a kind of question mark in your brain, okay, in your mind. And you would ask, okay, for a year, but when? So in present perfect, unspecified time is necessary. If we don't use unspecified time, it's going to turn out to be the past tense, okay? So we are not going to talk about the past tense. We want to talk about present perfect. What is present perfect? Present perfect is a tense which considers past tense and present tense as a single tense, okay? So, if we say past and present are together, it means present perfect, and we should use unspecified time, that we don't know exactly when the action happened, okay? So, take a look at the examples here. They have known each other for 10 years. They've known each other for 10 years. We understand that there was 10 years that they know each other, but we don't know when it started, when it is gonna finish. So we should use present perfect. If we use past tense, it's gonna be totally wrong, okay? So they knew each other for 10 years. It means right now they don't have any relationship. And we don't mean this, okay? We mean, if we want to talk about the past and present, we can use present perfect. It means we have known each other and already, right now, that person is my friend. That person is also my friend now. And he was or she was my friend in the past, okay? So, in the past and now. But if we use past tense, we say only in the past tense we were friends, but right now we are not friends anymore, okay? So that's it. Let's go. How long has your brother had his motorcycle? Okay. You see that my brother has a motorcycle, okay? And this is the question which pops into your mind. And you would ask, how long has your brother had his motorcycle? It means I know that in the past your brother had this motorcycle and right now again he has that. So we are considering these two tenses as a single tense, okay? So let's see. And my answer would be like this. He has had it for about a year. So he has had it for about a year. It means from the first part of last year until now, and we don't know when it is gonna finish. So we call that unspecified time. Okay? It means we don't know the end of that. But if it is past tense, we exactly know when it started and when it finished. So that's it. That was all about for and its usage in present perfect tense. If you want to talk about actions which continue, okay, and they consider the past tense and the present tense as a single tense, you can use for in order to talk about the time and its duration. Let's go to since. Okay, so if we want to use since, we are pointing out the starting point of the time, but we don't know when it is gonna end, okay? Again, it's like for, but with a difference. If you want to use since, you should use it differently. If you talk about the duration, you can use for. If you want to talk about the starting point, for instance, 2000. Okay, since 2000. Okay, we can replace it here. They have known each other since 2000 instead of 4. Okay, since 2000. It means since 2000, they started their friendship in 2000 and they have known each other till now, and we don't know when it is gonna finish. Okay, so let's see. Year 2000, you can talk about the year if you want to use since. Since 2000, since 1955, since 2010, okay, whatever year you want to say as a starting point. Or we can use past tense sentence, okay? For instance, I got married. Since I got married. Since I moved here. Since I lived here, okay? Since I graduated. So since plus past tense sentence, okay? But here, it doesn't mean that we don't use it along with the present perfect, okay? This is only the time marker, okay? Not the full sentence. I'm not talking about full sentence. See, for instance, in my example, I have lived here since I was 3 years old. So the past tense sentence shows the starting point, okay? But the present perfect sentence shows that this action started and till now, this is true, okay? It's the kind of fact that continues till now. So let's see. Since can be used along with the starting point, okay? For instance, morning. Since morning, I've cleaned my room, okay? So that's it. Or since morning, I've studied. But this one is normally used with present perfect continuous. Next part, okay, on the next part we are going to analyze it much more. But these two are common with the present perfect simple. Let's just analyze them within the sentences. So, since we have lived here, we have lived here since we were children. So, this shows the past tense sentence, but this shows the time, okay? Since they were children, they have lived here. We understand that it didn't stop, okay? It continued, and right now, again, it is correct. We are considering past and present as a single tense, okay? So, we say, we have lived here since we were children. And how long have you worked here? How long have you worked here? Okay, so it shows that we are asking about the duration. Okay, we are curious. We want to know that, okay, I know that you work here now and you worked here in the past as well. Okay, but right now the point is knowing how long you worked here, the duration of the time. But here, the person can answer using for, okay? If you don't want to use for, you can use since. For instance, I've worked here since 1996, okay? So, I've worked here since 1996. That's the starting point, okay? So, in present perfect tense, in order to show the unspecified time, you should use for and since, okay? Why? Because present perfect is a tense which considers the present and the past as a single tense, okay? They are not separate in present perfect. They are single tense. That's it. So let's go to the next point. Now, in this part, we are gonna talk about present perfect continuous. Okay, so present perfect simple was like that. Have or has plus past participle. Okay, but in present perfect continuous, you should follow another formula. So pay attention to the formula. Have or has plus been. Been is the fixed part, okay? So after have or has, you should put been, then your verb, and ing form in the verb, okay? For instance, have been playing, has been doing, have been studying, like this. So this is the formula that you're going to follow if you want to talk about the present perfect continuous tense. So what is the difference if you want to use present perfect continuous? We have present perfect in order to be used for the actions, okay, that show the present as and the past as the single tense, okay? So it's a kind of strange tense. However, it's really easy to use. So we use for and since. We can use for and since in present perfect continuous too. But there's a difference. If we are talking about present perfect continuous and our sentence is written in this tense, okay, there's a point here. The point is that you should notice that if you're using present perfect continuous tense, you are talking about actions which continue without any pause, okay? With no stop, no pause, no interruption, okay? So let's see. For instance, take a look at the second example here. I've been learning English since April. So we are talking about the starting point. If you remember, I mentioned that since morning, since April, okay? Even you can put the year here, since 2000, okay, like this. But here, the point is that if you're talking about present perfect continuous, you're mentioning that without any pause, you've continued your studies, okay? It shows that even there wasn't a week pause, okay? You didn't take time off. That's it. So with no pause, we continue that. So that I can say, I've been living in this town since I was a child. That's correct, because I didn't interrupt that. I didn't move to another town, okay? I was living here and I am living here right now. So if you want to say I was living and I am living now as a single tense, I've been living here, okay? So I've been living here since I was a child. We are just getting these two entangled. I was living, I am living together. I've been living. So working, okay? So I want to say that I worked, okay? Or I was working in UIA and I am working in UIA. So right now, I've been working in UIA for about 2 years. That's it. So let's see. I've been learning English since April. And the question, pay attention to question form. The question form is the similar form as we followed in the present perfect tense. How long, okay? We're asking about the duration. How long have you been learning English? How long have you been learning English? I've been learning English since April. How long have you been working here? I've been working here for 2 years. How long have you been living in this town? I've been living in this town since I was a child, okay? So that's the point. We are emphasizing that we have done it continuously, constantly, with no pause, no interruption. So let's go to the next example. They've been going out. They've been going out together for about 3 years. Again, here we can use for as well. So for about 3 years, we're talking about the duration. As you can notice, we are considering the past tense and present tense as a single tense. So they've been going out together for about 3 years. So let's go to another point, okay? That was one point that we said that if we are talking about the actions which are non-stop, okay, which happened in the past and continue up to the present time, we can use present perfect continuous, but no interruption is really important, okay? So we can either use present perfect here or present perfect continuous, but if you want to emphasize, present perfect continuous is much more useful. So let's go to the next part. Your eyes are red. Okay, so this is a sign. You notice a sign here. Wow, your eyes are red. What has happened? Okay, or we can say or ask this question. Have you been crying? Okay, so if there is a sign somewhere or on somebody's face or in a place, the question that pops into your mind must be in present perfect continuous tense, okay? So, have you been crying? Have you been crying? Okay, that person answers, no, I've been cutting onions. I've been cutting onions, okay? So, for instance, you see some sweat, okay, flowing down my face. And you say, what have you been doing? Okay, the question, what have you been doing? And I would say, I've been working out. It means I've been exercising. Because of that, you see these signs on my face, okay? You see the sweat. For instance, I am panting. Okay, so, and afterwards you ask, what have you been doing? And I would say, I've been running. Okay, so I've been running. Here, you are asking about the person's previous action based on the sign now you notice. Okay, so you notice a sign now and you are curious about the action happening before that. So then you would say, for instance, your eyes are red. What have you been doing? Or have you been crying? And for instance, what else can we say? You see that there's a smell, okay? You notice that there's a smell in the house, okay? There's a pleasant smell. And you would ask, have you been cleaning the house? Have you been cleaning the house? And I would say, no, I've been spraying some perfume. I've been spraying some perfume. That's it. So based on a sign, and we are going to just tell about our action. So that's it. And if we want to talk about the result of an action, okay, I've been crying, okay, or I've been cutting onions. I've been cutting onions. And if I want to notice the result, I would say, I have cut the onions. So this is the result. Not the sign, nor the action, okay? I would just show the result of that. A result, if you want to talk about the result, simple present perfect. If you want to talk about the action, you would use present perfect continuous, okay? Which is based on a sign. Let's go to the verbs that cannot be used normally in present perfect continuous or any continuous forms, okay? So these verbs are called state verbs. State verbs or non-action verbs. If you have non-action verbs, you can use these types of verbs in present perfect simple form, but not in present perfect continuous or any continuous forms, okay? For instance, you haven't heard somebody just saying, I am knowing you, okay? It's kind of rare. And or I have been liking. Again, it's rare. But in present perfect tense, you can use them. For instance, I've understood it. Okay, it's correct. I've understood it. I've thought about it. Or I haven't thought about it. Okay, again, this is correct. Normally, we don't use them in continuous forms or present perfect continuous form. So that was all about the grammar today. Try to practice it, do the exercises, and use them in your speaking. Right now, we are on page 19. Okay, on page 19, part 4, there is a speaking section. So, you've learned the grammar fully. Okay, right now, you're gonna go for the speaking part. In speaking part, you can use this grammar and make the most of the points that you've learned. It's better to have a partner, okay? If you have a partner, you can practice in pairs, okay? For instance, you and your sister or brother, okay, like this. Let's just see what these topics are about. The first circle is talking about a social networking site you use regularly. So, for instance, I can say, I've been using Instagram for over 4 years, and I can discuss, okay? So, Instagram is a really beautiful and attractive social medium. I can share my photos with my friends. Actually, if I have a party or if I throw a party, I can just share or post the photos there. I can show my feelings and I can see my friends and follow their posts as well, okay? Like this, you can just make some simple sentences. Keep your sentences simple. However, it's important to use the grammatical point, okay? So I can say, I've been using Instagram, okay, for over 4 years, or I have used Instagram for over 4 years. That's it. So next part is a friend you know well. I have known Jane since I was a child, okay? Like this. You start that and continue. So the next is a sport you play regularly or a kind of exercise you do regularly. Again, we can notice that. Let me see, let me think about that. Do I do sports? Actually, I don't do sports, but I can just set an example. I've been playing basketball, okay, since I graduated from college, like this. So, the car or motorcycle or bike you have. So, again, you can say, I've been driving my car for over 6 years, or I've had my car, okay, or motorcycle or whatever. Now, the place where you live. I've been living here in this town for over 16 years, for instance. So, a cafe or restaurant you often go to. So, I've hung out, okay? I can use another word. I've hung out at Soul Cafe, for instance, since I was in college, like this. And next is a gadget you have that is very important to you. For instance, I've had my cell phone, okay, since 2000, okay? It's a very old phone. Now next is an organization, club, gym, or etc. you are member of. Okay. So, for instance, I've been a member of UIA for 2 years. And next, something you're learning. What am I learning? Now, I've been learning French, okay? Or I have learned French. If it is a kind of action that is finished, but you remember that is a kind of experience, okay? But if you want to talk about the continuous form of that, I've been learning French or whatever. Here it is showing an instrument actually. Okay, try to ask and answer, and this is a kind of good practice to be done with your partners. So let's turn to the next part. Right now we are on page 20. So on page 20, you will see a text. Okay, this text is about Amazon challenge. It's very interesting. Here, again, there are some phone calls in the text. We are going to complete them based on part D. Okay, that you see here. We are going to just choose the choice here. There are some multiple choice questions, and we are going to just fill in the blanks according to A, B, C. But there are two other phone calls that you're going to listen and understand them, phone call 4 and 5. There are some questions here. You're going to answer the questions based on the listening on part F, okay? But let's go to text. I will just read the text and we are going to analyze the text and fill in the blanks. So, TV hosts Amazon challenge. Helen Skelton hopes to become the first woman to kayak down the Amazon River. Helen Skelton is a 26-year-old TV host of Blue Peter, a show for young people. She has never been afraid of a challenge. Last year, she became the second woman to complete the 78-mile ultra marathon in Namibia, running the 3 consecutive marathons. Consecutive. It means continuous, one after the other, okay? In a row. These are the synonymous vocabulary and phrases. So, consecutive marathons. It means repeated one after the other. In 23 hours and 50 minutes. But when Blue Peter decided to do something to raise money for the charity Sports Relief, which sponsors projects around the world, sponsor, it means to give money in order to handle a project, okay? In order to move it forward. So, Skelton said that she wanted an even bigger challenge, so they suggested that she kayak 1,998 miles down the Amazon from Nota in Peru to Almerium in Brazil. This is a very risky trip. There are no roads and no towns. Only rainforest and a river, which is sometimes more than 24 miles wide and infested with crocodiles. Infested, it means full of crocodiles. There are a lot of crocodiles there, okay? So, if she gets sick, it will take around 11 hours to fly her to a hospital. Wow, okay. It's a kinda cool adventure. Let's turn to vocabulary section. You're gonna get to know strong adjectives. Okay, strong adjectives are non-gradable adjectives. So, what's the meaning of them? Strong adjective or non-gradable adjectives are the adjectives which hold the word very inside them, okay? They already have very in their meaning. For instance, exhausted. Exhausted means very tired. So if I say very exhausted, it is wrong, okay? So I cannot say, because exhausted means very tired. I don't need to say or utter the word very, okay? So it is redundant, remember. Here, let's go to the box. Some adjectives have a strong meaning. I had to paddle against the current. I was exhausted, very tired, okay? I've had a fantastic time. It means very good, fantastic. With strong adjectives, you can use absolutely or really, not very. Do not use very if you have a strong adjective. You can say absolutely exhausted, okay? Or really fantastic, but not very fantastic or very exhausted. It's wrong. So, let's go. I've been suffering from the heat. It's absolutely boiling. Okay, it means it was very hot, absolutely boiling. Now let's go to this exercise and complete this part. Here says that tell me the normal adjectives for these strong adjectives. Let's go to the first example. Was Lisa's father angry about the car? Yes, he was furious. Furious is the strong adjective. The normal adjective for it is angry. Furious means very angry. So here, is Oliver's apartment small? Small? Yes, it's really tiny. Just a bedroom and a living room. Tiny means very small. So the next part. Are you of flying? Guess that. Yes, I'm terrified. I never fly anywhere. Terrified. What is the normal adjective for terrified? Very scared. Okay, here you can say, are you scared of flying? Like this. So next is, was the food? Yes, it was delicious. So delicious is the strong adjective. What is the normal adjective? Was the food tasty? And next, are you weary? Are you weary? Okay. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. I'm starving. Hungry. Okay. Are you very hungry? I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. Now next, is your parents' house? It's enormous. It has 7 bedrooms. Is your parents' house? Enormous means big, very big, okay? Is your parents' house big? Next is, was it in Moscow? It was freezing, minus 20 degrees. Freezing. Was it cold in Moscow? So 8, was Jack's kitchen? It was filthy. It took us 3 hours to clean it. Filthy. So the normal adjective for this is dirty. We can say, was Jack's kitchen dirty? Now next one. Are your parents about the wedding? Are your parents about the wedding? They're excited. In fact, they want to pay for everything. Are your parents happy about the wedding? Was the movie? It was hilarious. We laughed all the way through. Hilarious? Funny. Was the movie funny? Are you? You locked the door? I'm positive. I remember turning the key. Positive. What is the normal adjective? Are you? Sure. Are you sure you locked the door? Okay, next. Were you to hear that Ted is getting married? I was absolutely amazed. I never thought it would happen. Were you surprised? Okay, so the normal adjectives and the adjectives which are non-gradable. Remember, with non-gradable adjectives, you cannot use very. Only, absolutely, and really can be used as adverbs, okay, along with them. So that was all about this section. And there is a point here. Ask and answer with a partner. Go to part D, okay? Page 21, part D. Ask and answer with a partner. Ask for more information. That's it. So, in this part, again, you can use and make the most of the adjectives and grammar together. Okay, remember that. I will just read the questions for you and you can practice them on your own. Record your voice. Try to check the voice which is recorded, and if you have somebody who can check that, have it checked. It's going to be to your advantage to know your mistakes in your speaking. Let's see. Number 1. Have you ever been swimming in a place where the water was absolutely freezing? So you can just answer this question. Is there anything that makes you furious about car drivers or bike riders in your country? Are there any animals or insects that you're terrified of? What's the most delicious meal you've had recently? And is there a comedian or a comedy series on TV in your country that you think is absolutely hilarious? So you can use, it's a kind of golden chance, okay? You can use these adjectives along with the grammatical points that you have learned. So that was the end of the unit, and see you next session.